Hello friend, welcome back. I'm doing something a little bit different today because I have partnered up with my friend Kat Rains, who is offering a free online workshop in January 2026. And this is part of the preparation for that workshop. It's a collage workshop and it is called Collage Breakthrough. Now, if you know me, you know how important it is to understand composition. And with her course that I'm going to be also participating in, you are going to learn about composition, and you're going to be doing that with collage papers instead of paint. But both the principles apply whether you're going to do it with collage papers going forward after the free workshop, or if you're going to do it with paint. The principles that she's going to be teaching apply. So this is a exercise that I also teach in all of my in-person workshops, and it's really one of those where the students have so much fun with it because they get to collage papers and build up their composition slowly. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you the two colors I'm going to be using for this upcoming workshop. She is recommending that you only pick two colors and mix those colors together in every which way possible so that when we do the online free workshop in January, we're going to do a monochromatic format or use of colors. It just makes it a whole lot easier. So my choice is the phthalo turquoise, which you guys know I love my phthalo turquoise, and then also cad yellow medium, which is my favorite yellow. So I'm going with my two favorites. And the other thing that we can do is we're going to also add black and white. What I'm going to do today is really simple. And before I start telling you what I'm going to do, if you want information to sign up for this free online workshop, just leave the word link down below and I'm going to send you the link so that you can sign up for free. You just put in your name and your email address and immediately you will get videos on how to prepare. And what I'm doing today is one of her first videos on picking colors, but she's got all the videos laid out so nicely to prepare you for January. All right, so I'm going to use, normally I use my palette here for mixing, or actually I use this one, but I just did a video and I just this isn't ready to be peeled up. So I'm not going to use this today. I'm going to use Bristol paper. You can use any paper for this exercise that we're going to do. I love my Bristol paper. I always have it on hand. So that's what I'm using. And I'm going to use it as my palette here so that you can see my colors easily. And then I'm using Bristol paper here. And I may add some more paint as we go along, but that'll get us started. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. I do have some water off camera here that I will be dipping into. And I've got a rag here that I can use as well. I'm just going to grab any paintbrush. It's not important. I'm going to start with just putting down the primary colors that I'm using. So this is my cad yellow that I'm using. And I'm going to grab a new brush. Let's grab a clean brush here for my phthalo turquoise. All right, there's that one. And now I can go ahead and just, those are my two colors plus black and white, which I'm not going to put here. And let's go ahead and just start mixing. I'm going to pick up that yellow that I had. Let's add some white to that. Let's mix that up. And let's put a little bit of that out. Isn't that a beautiful buttery yellow? Now let's go ahead and let's just, I'm going to add some phthalo turquoise to that, and we're going to come up with this lovely green color. So there's my lovely green. And let's see, let's add some white to that. I'm going to just come over here. Let's add some white to it. And I'm kind of turning my brush, and whatever I have on there I'm using. So it's a little bit of a lighter value. So look what we're already coming up with just using those. Let me go back to my blue, my phthalo turquoise. I'm adding white to that. So let's add some white and we'll put that down. All right, a gorgeous color. So Kat is going to be showing us, how to make collage pieces, how to build up compositions, and she really wants us to just focus on minimizing our color palette for these exercises. So by just using these two colors, I could have used like phthalo turquoise and let's say like a yellow green or a blue green. They would have been a whole lot closer and I wouldn't have been able to get as many color variety, but I love using yellow. Whenever you use yellow, you're going to get so much more variety. All right, let's continue on. I'm going to take that blue and I'm going to lighten it even more. Let's add a little bit more to that. Whoops, I turned my brush, which means I offloaded some of that darker color. All right, look how gorgeous that blue is. Okay, let's continue on. I'm going to just add a little bit more. And I'm not going back into that same pot of color because it's really hard to lighten it. But if I just move to a different spot and not turn my brush, let's see if I can not do what I normally automatically do. All right, beautiful. Even lighter. So see how we can just keep adding white to it and lightening it up. Now the other thing we can do is let's just add a speck of black to that. And immediately what happens, I mean, we really don't need a whole lot of black, do we? Is we're going to get this gorgeous gray color with some blue in it. Absolutely beautiful. I love grays. I love using grays in my paintings. All right, here it is with white added to it. So let's add a little bit more there. All right, gorgeous. Let's continue on. I'm going to go back to my green and I think I'll just add a little bit of, maybe that was a little too much, a little bit of blue to that. And I'm just turning my brush, getting everything that I've got. And that's very similar to what I had there. So let's add a whole bunch of white to it. And let's go with a whole lot of more lighter values there. Beautiful. Okay, and I think I'm going to, what do I want to do? See, you can do whatever you want. There is no right or wrong here. It's just playing and experimenting and seeing what you like. And some folks like to actually write down how much they added of each color. That is not me. If you know me, I'm very intuitive. I don't like to sit down and write down anything like that. I just like to move along and just experiment and play and really be delighted in that process of just finding new colors that I love. All right, so very similar, but yet, different. I would love to get some darker values. So we've got some lighter ones and we've got some mid-range ones. Let's go back to that black. And let's add that in here. And let's see what we can come up with. There we go. That's coming in a bit darker. I'm going to go a little bit darker. So let's add just a touch more. Again, be careful with that black because it's easy to pick up too much and it's just going to make it entirely black. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Gorgeous color there. All right. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to pick up a new brush and what I'm going, let me grab this other one, this one. I like the flat brushes. And I'm going to grab just black and some white. And we're going to make a gray here as well. But I wanted to show you what that looks like next to the gray that had some blue in it. Do you see that difference there? I'm going to wet my brush a bit because this is very dry here. Okay, do you notice how that is much cooler than with the blue over here? Now let's come back in, let's add some green to that. Oh, actually, I wanted to make a really good green that was just with black without mixing in the phthalo turquoise. Let's come over here. Look at this green. Right, so I'm probably going to end up doing more greens than I am just phthalo turquoise because I really do love mixing these greens. Let's add some phthalo turquoise to that now and see what we get. Look at this variety of different greens that we can create. All right, let's continue on. I'm just going to do a little bit more here with you before I let you go. And hopefully you're going to get your 2 colors out, and hopefully you're going to join me with Kat in January. Now this is a workshop she is doing entirely. I'm just going to come along to learn from her and share with you that she's got this available to you so that you can understand composition a lot more. Now, her focus isn't just going to be composition, but that's going to be a big part of it, because when you are doing collage papers, you are building up a composition, just like when you're creating your artwork. When you are at the art supply store and you're trying to figure out what paint colors you want, you really just stick to a few of them and spend the time mixing them and creating your own custom colors. It's going to just add so much more to your paintings, to your creations, when you can create your own custom colors. And the depth that it provides is just unmatched to coming straight out of the jar, as I mentioned before. Okay, I promise I'm going to stop. I'm going to do one more and then I'm stopping. All right, nice dark value here. Really dark, dark gray. All right, there we go. All right, I'll call it done. But again, like I said, we can continue on, you know, forever, continuing mixing these colors. So if you're interested in Kat's free online workshop for January, just leave the word link down below. I'm going to send you the link to it. Super easy to sign up. I did it myself. Just your name, your email address, and she'll immediately send you to a page where you can start watching videos. This is one of them where she talks about mixing colors and preparing for January. And then she goes into how to prepare collage papers, and I'm going to do some of those. I'll probably videotape a few for you as well. Okay, I hope you'll join me in January and join Kat, and I hope that you have some fun creating your own colors by just taking 2 of them plus black and white and creating these gorgeous colors. All right, friend, I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a super fabulous and creative day. Take care.